Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I am Vedant Agarwal. Our top story, well, the fallout of the Alaska Airlines incident where a door in fact flew off mid-air. Now the DGCA, or the Indian Aviation Watchdog, has ordered a one-time inspection of emergency exits on all Boeing 737 MAX aircraft, and this has to be completed by noon on Sunday. Now remember, this is critical because the DGCA had made two important points. One is that the 737 MAX 9 aircraft, which actually witnessed this incident, is not there in the Indian Airlines fleet. But we do have another model of the Boeing MAX aircraft, and that is Boeing MAX 7. So, well, just to be on the safe side of things and just to exercise extra caution, the Aviation Watchdog has ordered a regular inspection of emergency exits in these Boeing aircraft, and this has to be completed by Sunday noon. This is extremely critical because remember, this comes close on the heels of the incident where Boeing had also raised in fact, a loose bolt alert where loose hardware was found. So Boeing aircraft, of course, have been in the headlines for the wrong reasons, though Boeing has said that, well, safety is paramount to us. And Indian Airlines in question back then, like SpiceJet or Air India Express, they had also said that, well, we conduct regular inspections and safety is extremely sacrosanct for us. But this incident had absolutely left everyone in shock. A passenger, in fact, had recorded that video where a door blew open and it got completely detached from the aircraft, and it happened when the flight was at the maximum height, and it happened soon after departure. But the fallout is that the DGCA has ordered checks for Indian Airlines. Moving now to the big NDTV exclusive, where we've tracked China's salami slicing of territory across the Himalayan frontier. And in this report, the latest one, Vishnu Shom tracks a satellite imagery that shows multiple enclaves having been constructed by China in an area of immense cultural significance for Bhutan. This time, China is eyeing the land belonging to the Bhutanese royal family. Take a look.
A fresh set of satellite images less than a month old indicate the staggering pace at which China continues to illegally carve into northeast Bhutan by constructing townships along a river valley in Beul Khenpajong. That's a region with deep cultural significance. In part 2 of our series, we bring you high-resolution images of the massive Chinese construction activity in an area of immense historic and cultural significance to the royal family of Bhutan. These images, less than a month old, show one of the enclaves illegally constructed by China in the Beul Khenpajong area, despite ongoing border talks between Thimphu and Beijing. The area that we are focusing on is marked on this map of Bhutan. The colored regions on this map are other areas where China has illegally carved into Bhutanese territory. The red structure in this image from November 2020 was built at a time when China's incursion into the area was relatively small. This is the same area now, a full-fledged township. So let's compare what was earlier on and what exists now. If we move to the east in the same river valley, there is this image from November 2020 of construction activity beginning in a second enclave. And here's the same enclave in December 21st, 2023. As you can see, the differences are stark, the areas now built up. So let's compare the images. The image on the right gives you an idea of how Chinese workers have carved into this area, the river valley and hillsides, to build another enclave. What we can now show you is the entire river valley as it existed in November 2021. We'll then compare it with the situation now. 3 years ago, China had started building a road network here needed to facilitate road construction. This is what this river valley in the Beul Khenpajong looked like in 2021. And here's what it looks like now. Now we've marked the areas where construction activity has mostly been completed. That is the image on the right. Finally, this animated video where we zoom into the Chinese constructions and move along the entire valley. You can see hundreds of homes and the road network. These have been described to us as large format settlements capable of housing hundreds. The area in question is extremely sensitive to Bhutan's royal family, which traces its ancestral heritage to this region. We did reach out to the Bhutanese government to respond to this story. This is the full statement of the Bhutanese ambassador to New Delhi. While it is our policy not to give comments to the media on the ongoing border talks, I would like to state that we will always uphold and safeguard Bhutan's territorial interests during the boundary negotiations.
And well, after a great year for ISRO, another historic moment for India's space odyssey. Well, Ayodhya L1, the country's first mission to study the sun, has reached its final destination. The Space Observatory was launched by the Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO, last year. And praising the country's scientists for the achievement, Prime Minister Modi said that India has created yet another landmark. The ISRO chief has said they will have to do a little bit of corrections to put Ayodhya at the right place, and that monitoring will have to be done closely.
See, this today's event was only placing the Ayodhya L1 in the precise halo orbit. So it was moving towards a halo orbit, but we had to do a little bit of corrections to put it at the right place. So something like a 31 meter per second velocity has to be given cumulatively to the satellite to keep it at the right orientation. So basically it's a halo orbit. It's an orbit which moves around L1 point with a size of 6 lakh kilometer in one dimension. 2 plus lakh in another dimension, 1 lakh kilometer in another dimension. So it formed like an egg. So in this new orbit it has to be placed, it has to be very precisely put. If we don't do the correction today, it will escape from this point. Okay, we will not allow it to escape if it dare not happen. There are some contingencies, but I am only telling mathematically it can escape. So that has been very precisely done. Ultimately what we achieved today is exact placement based on our measurement and very correct prediction of the velocity requirement. The computer decided to cut off at the accelerometer based cutoff has happened. So right now it is in our calculation it is in the right place. But we are going to monitor for next few hours to see whether it is at the right place. Then if it is slightly drifted, we may have to do a little bit of correction, and we don't expect that to happen.
I would rather put it this way, that this is the third success story in the trilogy of success stories registered by Team ISRO. It was first Chandrayaan 3, the first one to land in the world, the first one to land on the southern pole of moon. Then the ExpoSat, the third one, gone there to explore the silent zone radiations, etc. And now the Ayodhya L1, again second one in the world, which is going to discover the mysteries of the sun, which had either in the past hitherto eluded us, or they got woven around fairy tales and folklore.
The Indian Space Research Organization ISRO again created history today by reaching the L1 or the halo orbit nearer the sun through the Ayodhya L1 satellite. Ayodhya is India's maiden space-based solar observatory, and this now becomes a hat-trick of sorts by ISRO. First came the soft landing on the moon through Chandrayaan 3, and then the ExpoSat mission, which began with a bang on the new year, and now the Ayodhya L1 satellite has reached its final destination 1.5 million kilometers away from the Earth, from where it will have a continuous and uninterrupted view of the sun for the next 5 years. It's a scientific mission. It carries 7 scientific instruments which will reveal the secrets and mysteries of the sun, but it is also a protector of sorts, because it will give early warning when the sun gets angry and if a solar storm is coming India's way. Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, announced to India and the world that a landmark and milestone has been achieved by India. This is truly a celestial Surya Namaskar by the Indian Space Agency. Now, the scientists who have made the scientific instruments on board Chandrayaan, ExpoSat and Ayodhya, the ball is truly in their court. India sending one after another 3 missions to better understand the solar system and the universe. Indian scientists bringing glory for India, and the Indian Space Research Organization giving good news one after another, and this celestial hat trick by ISRO is a remarkable achievement by the Indian Space Agency.
And well, our special report from Ayodhya as the temple town gears up for the big Ram Mandir event, the consecration ceremony on the 22nd of January. Thousands are expected to attend and it's expected to also get world attention. Well, a tourist boom is certainly in the offing too. My colleague Maria Shakil reports from the banks of the river Saryu on the preparations and also how Ayodhya is already witnessing a surge in tourism and how the town is decked up. Take a look.
Several parts of Ayodhya have been transformed into tourist spots. One such place is where I am. This is Ram Ki Paidi. You can see a light and a sound show is currently on. The tourists gathered here certainly gives you a sense of how the footfalls have already increased even as the consecration ceremony of Ram Temple is yet to happen. Let me speak to some of those who have gathered here. Ram Temple के ceremony से पहले ही आ गए आप?
जी, हमें राम मंदिर के दर्शन और जो राम मंदिर की भव्यता जो मोदी जी ने और योगी जी ने पूरे हिंदुस्तान में दिखा रहे हैं, आज हम राम मंदिर का दर्शन करके आए और वाकई में उसकी भव्यता, उसकी सुंदरता देखने लायक है।
इसके बारे में मुझे बताइए, थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करिए। ये जो आप लोग यहाँ पर लाइट एंड साउंड शो देख रहे हैं,
ये बहुत बढ़िया शो चल रहा है जी, और बहुत ही उच्च श्रेणी की क्वालिटी का जो है लाइट एंड साउंड शो चल रहा है, और पीछे जो रामायण दिखाई जा रही है, अद्भुत नज़ारा है, बड़ा खूबसूरत नज़ारा है।
आप यहाँ के लोकल हैं?
नहीं, मैं गोरखपुर से हूँ।
अच्छा, कब आई हैं आप?
आज ही आई हूँ, मॉर्निंग में ही।
ओके, फॉर विटनेसिंग दिस?
हाँ।
ओनली फॉर दिस लाइट एंड साउंड शो?
ऑफ कोर्स, व्हाई नॉट?
ओके, सो टेल मी, व्हाट वाज द एक्सपीरियंस लाइक?
Very nice. I was very excited for visit here. My father was here. He have called to us that if you have to look Ayodhya, so please come right now. So I have came.
And then you decided to come here?
With my parents, with my mother and my sister.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So you know, where there are several of those, if you can see, there are many people who are clicking pictures, trying to capture this moment. This is all building up to 22nd. So you can perhaps imagine what will happen post 22nd, and that's the reason why the government is trying to ensure that there is better connectivity. Whether you want to travel by air, there are direct flights that are coming to Ayodhya. If you want to take a train, so there are several trains that have been flagged off last Saturday, and also there are the highways, the 4-laning and the 6-laning of the highways are also currently on. This is a special report from me, Maria Shakil, in Ayodhya.
So, well, the countdown to the Ram Temple inauguration has certainly well and truly begun. With that, we'll take a short break. News continues on the other side. Welcome back. The big international headline: elections in India's neighbourhood. Well, Bangladesh votes on Sunday. The stakes are high. A lot is on the line, including democracy in Bangladesh. Take a look at this report.
As Bangladesh prepares for polls, the violence too is escalating. 4 people were killed in pre-poll violence as a moving train was set on fire in Dhaka.
One issue is violence is visible, and the voters, I believe, that are aware of the violence. There is no doubt that if violence is repeated continuously, that may have a negative impact upon the voters in turning up in polling stations. I have no hesitation to admit that. But from our side, we have engaged 800,000 law enforcing people, all well armed, who will be on duty during the polling time.
The Chief Election Commissioner of Bangladesh says there is no question on the legitimacy of elections, despite the violence in the main opposition party boycotting the polls.
But this time, a little crisis is going to happen because one major group of political leadership say, don't go to polling stations. Another major group of politicians say, no, come to the polling stations and show to the people that voters have turned. Had BNP participated in the election would have been more competitive, more inclusive and more festive. That is the reality.
On the streets of Bangladesh, the BNP, the main opposition party, is asking people to stay away. This amidst pre-poll violence and arson. With Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina tipped to return to office, the ruling Awami League blames the opposition for the violence, a charge the opposition BNP denies.
স্বাভাবিক সেই রেলের বগিতে ঘুমন্ত মানুষকেও তারা আগুন ধরিয়ে পুড়িয়ে মারা হচ্ছে। গতকালকেও নির্বাচনকে সামনে রেখে এই সন্ত্রাসী কায়দা সন্ত্রাসী গোষ্ঠী যেভাবে এইভাবে মানুষ পুড়িয়ে মারা হচ্ছে নৃশংসভাবে নির্মম মর্মান্তিক যে ঘটনাগুলো ঘটিয়ে যাচ্ছে, এরা রাজনৈতিক আন্দোলনের নামে যদি এরা মানুষ পুড়িয়ে মারে, মানুষকে হত্যা করে, এটা কি কোনো রাজনীতি, এটা কি কোনো গণতন্ত্রের ভাষা?
So BNP is a tolerant, liberal, democratic political party. BNP is not believe in violence. This is not a violence party.
Hours to go before Bangladesh votes in its 12th general elections, but a boycott call from the main opposition party and incidents of violence and arson even before the first vote has been cast has led to a huge worry. The focus now is on ensuring that voters who want to cast their votes can come out and do so safely so that there are no further questions on the legitimacy of this election as Bangladesh elects its new parliament. With camera person GD Shankar in Dhaka, Bangladesh, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
So, well, this has larger ramifications for the Indo-Pacific as well amid the Chinese footprint expanding. But moving now to our special report, well, drawing inspiration from successful farming ventures in MP and other states like, Uttar Pradesh as well, Haryana is set to replicate this success on an international scale. It's sent to, incentivize farmer in special ways. Take a look at this report.
Months ahead of the Lok Sabha polls, the Haryana government attempting to create opportunities for the farming community. The state now plans to send farmers to Vietnam to learn production of the exotic dragon fruit, currently imported into India and sold at exorbitant rates.
कि प्रगतिशील किसानों से जो बातचीत हुई, उन्होंने कहा कि वियतनाम में ट्रेनिंग पर बहुत से किसान जाना चाहते हैं। तुरंत हमने विभाग को निर्देश दिए कि उनको कोई ना कोई सब्सिडी दी जाए और प्रगतिशील किसानों के लिए और प्रगति यानी किसान कल्याण विभाग इसकी योजना बना रहा है। बहुत जल्दी इसकी घोषणा कर दी जाएगी।
There are very few farmers in India who grow the exotic fruit. Kuldeep Singh from Karnal district has been growing dragon fruit since 2019 and feels that farmers should switch to farming this fruit as it is very lucrative.
हमारा जो प्रोडक्शन आया था अभी 16.5 टन प्रोडक्शन आया था, यानी 16,500 किलो हमारा प्रोडक्शन निकला था ड्रैगन फ्रूट का। ये फार्मिंग किसानों के लिए बेहतर फार्मिंग है, गेहूं धान से काफ़ी बेहतर है और इसमें किसानों की आय भी नो डाउट 4 से 5 गुना बढ़ जाएगी अगर वो पारंपरिक खेती करते हैं।
The government's proposed initiative to send farmers to Vietnam for training in agriculture has inspired other farmers like Sukhdev Singh, who currently cultivates paddy and wheat.
जो ड्रैगन फ्रूट की खेती है इसमें एक अच्छा प्रॉफिट भी है। अगर किसान को बिल्कुल गाइडलाइन के हिसाब से इसको करे तो उसमें एक छोटा किसान भी एक अच्छा मार्जिन कमा सकता है और सरकार का ये बहुत सराहनीय कदम है। अगर सरकार किसानों को भेज रही है तो मैं भी इसमें जाना चाहूँगा, ताकि हम भी अपनी इनकम जो सरकार कहती है कि डबल, हम भी उसको डबल ट्रिपल कर सकें।
But the question is, why Haryana is encouraging farmers to grow exotic fruit? As of July 22nd, the total area under farming of exotic or foreign fruits in Haryana was 170 hectares, with an annual production of 3,080 metric ton. This includes areas under all types of exotic fruits such as kiwis and passion fruit. Area under dragon fruit farming is only 40 to 50 acres. Landholding is shrinking while the income of farmers has remained stagnant over the years. The government aims to diversify crop production to save underground water by moving farmers out of paddy-wheat cycle. At a time when even the Supreme Court has urged the government to phase out paddy crop from states like Punjab to avoid stubble burning, Haryana's push for foreign training and production of exotic fruits will not only save us from pollution, but will also increase the income of farmers. With Anita Singh in Karnal and Mohammad Ghazali, Usama Shah for NDTV.
So, well, truly a welcome initiative there. That's all the time that we have on this bulletin. From all of us here. Goodbye.